Whiskey and White going all the way.
What up, world? Welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey and White Show with me, your host, Tommy Mac.
And me, your better host, Emmet McKenna.
And you know, we're in association with the #1 competition page in the whole world, Our Kings. So if you're feeling lucky, you want to win a car, want to win a friggin' lump sum, a garden, anything you want, tickets for something, get on to Our Kings. You know,
OurKingsCompetitions.com. Get on them. Unbelievable.
You have to be in it to win it. And today, we are joined by a special guest. This man is taking social media by storm. He's an online PT turned influencer. Now he's here to thank himself. Give it up for Emmet McKenna.
What's happening, big
Thanks
lads?
for
Is all
being
good?
here. Yep. So Emmet, just to get in the for people who don't know you, I'm sure everyone in Belfast does know you now.
Melting everybody's head now, aye.
What is it did you do, and how did you get into it?
So I was qualified as a PT about 10 years ago. I would have ran about with a load of sort of boyos back in the day and stuff, taking drugs, all that shit. And I never really never believed in myself, never used my qualification. I'd done every single job under the sun, working in Australia, working on building site, did butler and above, all sorts of things.
Butler and above?
Aye, we'll get into that in a wee bit. And, aye, that was good crack, And ended up then, I'd lived in Australia for 3 years, came back, was working in a call centre, load of shit, and I was busting to get back out again. Went out in January 2020, was in Oz for a month and a half, 2 months, and COVID hit, the whole world shutting down. And the Irish Embassy contacted me. They were like, you need to get back home to Belfast. You're not safe there because you're on a temporary visa. So I used my last of my money to get a flight back to Ireland and found myself back in my ma's house, box room, fucking melted out, skint. I'd already get rid of my car, my clothes, everything, because it was
You were starting a
emigrating.
new life.
What age was you?
I was, that time there, I was probably about 27, 28, around that mark. And whenever I came back in, I found, when your back's against the wall, you have to either fucking sink or swim. So I text my dad, he says, Dad, would you lend me your car? I do Chinese deliveries, and I'll try and get a few quid up. So I started doing the deliveries down a local thing. They were the only fucking Chinese open, nothing was open. So I started doing videos online, being step right up, get your Harmony Palace tonight, and all this here. And I'll be you want one. Everybody's sitting in the house fucking melted during COVID. I was torturing them and all, every night. So I was making a really good turn. So every time I started picking up money, I started buying gym equipment and built the gym at the house. Then built an in-person PT business there and just was using social media in order to do that. So ended up really busy through that. And then there was a point where I was seeing all these online boys floating about, who they are, Sean Casey and all them boys. And I was like, how the fuck are they doing this? Now I'm standing counting reps in the gym here. This is melting ahead of me.
I look at them and I think, how the fuck do you do it? Just
exactly.
sitting on the computer and everyone else is training for you.
Aye, so then I was like, right, I'm going to reach out to the right people here and level up, because I was like, if they can do it, I can fucking do it. That was where I looked at it as well. You could help 20, 30, 40 people on an hourly basis a week, or you could help thousands of people if you know how to get the systems correct to do so. So that was where I joined a mentorship in order to do that. They taught me the skills in order to run a business rather than it just being a in-person PT thing. So then from there, I scaled it. And now I'm in a great position where getting invited on podcasts and stuff and get respected. I did a talk last week in front of 200 coaches on how to run your business. Yeah. So it's been a journey, but it's been a great journey. It's really surreal.
To be honest, it's you've been on a fast track. So that's from 2020 to now 2024. 4 years goes to get.
Absolutely, sure. Time stops for nobody.
Exactly,
you got your foot down on the pedal, or you don't.
Yeah.
And what did it say from when you started doing the online stuff? Did it just kick off immediately, or because see during COVID, a lot of people were doing the online training. I seen a lot of PTs changing it over to online. A lot of them weren't working. So when did you just kick off?
Not at all. Mine took absolutely ages. That was kind of what my talk was about the other day. I was talking to a lot of the junior coaches and stuff who are maybe on their starting period, trying to get online. And I was explaining, I was hammering videos. I did a reel every day for a year. And I don't know if either of you, I'm sure you have done reels before.
Time consuming.
Fucking time consuming. It's a melt writing them.
I'd say people slamming about TikTokers. They actually deserve the money because the much effort it is to go on and make them.
Doing something that takes an hour. It'd take 4 hours if you're videoing it.
Yeah.
Do video clips.
I always say to somebody here's my phone. Motivate me to buy off you. Go ahead, do it. Because if you think it's that easy, everybody be doing it. It's fucking not. So I was doing videos every day. literally like for about 7-8 months, and nothing was sticking. I was always trying to impersonate other coaches. I was like looking at other ones like Tony McAlevey and Sean Casey and James Smith and being like, I'll try their style today.
Yeah.
I'll try their style today. And it was only actually whenever I went, you know what, I'm just going to start talking about stuff that I know, because I've lived a really fucking broad life, you know, as I say, I've done plenty of different things over the years. So I was like, why are you getting on like them rather than be authentic to yourself? Exactly. It was only when I started doing that, started delving into a bit more of the mental health side of things and all, because my journey would have been like that then things kicked off. People started to take notice. Page started to grow a wee bit, and then all platforms grew then. So now it's in a great position, like, so it's just continuously growing now.
Yeah.
So it's been good. It's been a journey, like, but you know yourself, it's consistency and dedication. Like, at the end of the day, you know, people just think you just walk out there in a ring and just fucking like, oh, he was given that, he was God given.
Everything you don't see is the word of real work is. People think, oh, fuck, he's just overnight success. He's running an online business there, but you've put in years of work behind the scenes.
I was also getting slagged left, right, and centre.
You could say
absolutely. See my area, right? See the Orm Road. See, I walk down there. All I get all the time is fucking, where's your man? Still doing the videos? Still doing the videos now for fucking ages. See now they're all like, fuck me, mate. How'd you do that? No, that's class. Seeing people, and you're like,
fuck's sake, you were torturing me every day.
Aye, exactly. But it's one of them things. You have to have a thick skin. Like, if you're going to go in the online world, as you know, I'm sure you get slapped at yourselves. Like,
all the time.
You said you
more so Tyrone, like. What's that? He gets it worse than me.
Yeah, I get tortured myself. Like.
But
I like it. Like,
you were saying you had a few other jobs. You had a buff.
Butler and the buff. So
butler and the buff.
I used to do like a naked butler, so it was like a dicky bone and apron, no trunks, like, and used to do like.
You wear trunks or not?
No trunks now. Bare bum out, like, and I'll tell you, it was my first gig actually. I told it on Paddy McDonald's podcast. I'll tell you as well, right? So what happened was, I'd got with this girl in the hostel room when I first got to Australia, and she was like to me, "You're in great nick, but you never do anything with that." And I was like, "I don't know, like, I don't know if
that's a compliment. You're in great nick, would you do anything with? I'll do something now.
Sure, I did. What are you talking about? And she was like, I says, you know, I have a mate that actually does butler and buff over here. She was like, why don't you apply? She was like, apply for it. So I applied anyway, and your man did a video anyway. And he's like, he invited me to a video call, and he's like, chatting, and he says, tip your phone down to have a look at you. And I was like, no sweat. And he goes, right, we're going to send you out like a 75-page like instruction manual thing, right? There's a test at the end. Once you pass that, you'll do a trial shift for free.
Fuck, man.
So
75 pages on a test.
I know.
Fuck
here, no, hold on.
What was the test?
75 pages about what you're not allowed to do. Not allowed to drink, not allowed to touch the client, not allowed to fucking have sex with the client, not allowed to nothing.
Right.
I was sitting there going,
he's really
I was like, this is a load of bollocks, this. I thought I was going to be a fucking party boy, not a fucking waiter. I was like, I didn't sign up for the Hilton here.
You're not allowed to drink or nothing off?
But here. So then, so like I was like, I passed the test anyway, and I was like, right, so he says you're going to do your first gig with a guy called George. George's going to give you a bell anyway. So George gives me a bell, and he's like, fucking yes, lad, that's how it tonight, lad, fucking yes. And I was like, you seem really buzzing for something, but it seems like shit. He's like, yeah, fuck you, man, lad, throw it the fucking bin. Yes. And I was like, he sounds like my kind of guy. I think I'm going to get on all right here. So we get to the gig anyway, and there's 30 women there, 15 of them are Irish. This is in Australia, by the way. So, like, you know, you're expecting Aussies. Like, I was delighted when 15 of them are Irish. Like,
you were delighted? They'd been fucking reason. No, they probably know me.
They were off down south. Sorry, they're ages away. And we walk out anyway, and our dicky bows and all, and they're like, oh, Jesus, girls, their bums out, their bums, Jesus Christ. And it says to me, I'm only 23 at the time, and they were like to me, they're like, can you make me an espresso martini? And I was like, what's that? And she was like, Jesus, lad, you don't even know what you're doing. And I was like, nah, I can make you a fucking Sprite. And so I was like, don't be worried, I'll make it. No, so I'm standing there.
She's making this, you're working and she's making the drinks?
I thought you were just meant to serve them, but you meant to make them, no?
Oh, well, mate, so it was kind of dependent, it was group dependent, right? So depending on the audience anyway. And she was like, would you like one yourself? And I was like, I don't know if I'm allowed to drink. She was like, well, your friend's been drinking for about half an hour. And I looked over and he's like, fucking yes, lad. And I was like, all right, I was like, I'm giving this program.
Sounds like a great job.
Oh no, it's class. But here it gets better. So here I'm standing there, right, and he's standing beside me, and they're doing pin the penis on the butler, right. So they're getting blindfolded, and they had like sticky dicks. They had to feel you and find their dick and stick it on. It was about the fifth bird in a row grabbed my dick, and I turned around to him and I was like, mate, is this a job? And he's like, fuck you. Right? So the bride to be was getting really rowdy with me, right? I mean, like, she was straddling me from behind. She was like, yeah, give it a fucking stacks. Her mother-in-law to be not here.
Her mother-in-law was there now.
Shut the hand do. So yeah, anybody says that men are worse than women is a load of balls.
We all know.
They're all wild hyenas whenever you give them the right
After the Pleasure Boys, we all know them.
Exactly. That's why Paddy had me on his thing. It was a pleasure. So the bride-to-be's mother-in-law to be came over to me. She's like, "Excuse me, would you mind putting her down? She's my son. Would you just take it easy?" And I was like,
putting her down, mate. You have her like that.
she was wrapped around me, like fucking read me like a fucking cowboy, like, and I put her down anyway. She's like, "Just dance with her a little bit, do the waltz or something." I was like, "Here's me." I was like, "I'll show you my waltz." Here's me dancing away anyway, right? Bear in mind, I'm wearing no trunks and an apron, and there were 3 or 4 girls looking at me from behind, and I was like, "What are you looking at?" And they were like, "We were trying to work out, could you fit this champagne flute in your bum?" And I was like, "Well, sure, I'll give it a rattle." Like, and it was upright before you think it was in. It was upright. I knew your tears were starting to run. Not that way. And the girl was like, "Just take it down. Pardon me mouth. So here's me trying to waddle over this thing, right? And all the rest of them came running in. Your man George comes upon me and he's like, "Fuck me, lad. You're fucking better than me, lad." I was like, I don't even know what's happening at this point. I was like, "I just ended up here." So, we went to get changed, and the girls all broke into the room when we were getting fucking changed. And they're like, "Where are you going? Don't be going anywhere. Don't be going anywhere." And we were like, girls, we're just going to go out in the town." They're like, "Why would you go out in the town? There's 30 women here. I'm sure you'll be all right." And we were like, "Dead on, sure, we'll stay." They were like, "We'll pay you." So they handed us both $500 each. Oh, well, I was supposed to be a free fucking gig for me. I'm getting paid fucking $500 for it. Like, and from there, then I ended up kissing the girl who booked us, and then he was kissing one of the other girls. And he came over to me. He's like, "Hey, lad, you get a fucking bedroom right now, lad. Fuck me, lad." And I was like, "Why? What's going on?" He's like, "Just get in there, lad. You fuck me to see." So I went into the bedroom anyway, and there's 4 women on the bed, all fucking fingering each other, looking each other out. And I was like, "Well, girls, room for a wee one." Like, they were like mid. I swear. They were like mid, and like one of them turned around to me. She's like, "Excuse me, this is a private affair and you better fuck off." And I was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Come on, like, Johnny, there's too much fucking vegetables here. You need a bit of meat." Now, somebody's not in. And then she was like, "Fuck off." So I got up and left, and he says to me, "Here, lad, did they tell you to fuck off?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he says, "I only sat in there because they told me to fuck off." I was like, "You're a fucking wanger, you." So I woke up, right, in a different house, candle wax all over my trousers, right, and I was like, "Hello,
sure, it's
hello."
candle wax.
I was like, hello, and like dying at fucking death. And some random lad walks out of the room and he's like, "Right, lad, who the fuck are you?" And I was like, "Emmet." And he goes, "What?" And I was like, "What?" And then he goes, "You fucking Georgie's friend. Georgie, your fucking friends, eh?" Georgie walks out, he goes, "Fuck me, lad, what the fuck happened last night?" I was like, "Mate, I don't know what happened to my jeans at all." And we were trying to piece together the night. And I was going, "Oh, mate, if I fucking collapsed or something and like, and wrecked the place," like, I was like, "What's happened?" And he goes, "She'll be all right." I'm on a tram back to the city centre in Melbourne. Burn mine in jeans and a jumper, sweating it out, like 40-degree heat, like. And I'm sitting there and I get the phone call from your man, runs butler to Buffy. He says, "All right, Emmet, how are you?" He's like, "All right, Pete, how are you?" And he's like, "You have a good night last night?" I was like, Yeah, it was really good crack. And he's like, "You don't sound that confident." I was like, "I'm just only up. Like, what did you hear?" And he goes, "You get the best report of any butler we've ever had." He's like, "You've got the job anyway." And I was like,
days.
I was like, "All right, that sounds good." He goes, "I'm surprised you're not more. You got reported that you were so confident." And I was like, "Oh no, I swear, I'm only just awake."
So was it then you're all fucking on tour around Melbourne?
I did that for 6 months, and then I did it for 6 months there, and then when I moved to Sydney, I kind of fucked it off because I got a bird and stuff then. You can't really do that when you're in a relationship. You can't be running around doing them gigs.
Would you not do? Let me just not start. Obviously, there's a high demand in Belfast for it after that Pleasure Boys thing. Would you not start one up here?
So there is one here.
Is it?
When fucking
I never got the call.
You had to be a tank.
Watch they walk, mate. Get back in.
Well, my dad contacted me 2 years ago, about 2 years ago now, and his mate owned a hotel in Donegal. And he says, "Emmet," he's like, "Pat needs you to needs you to come out of retirement, do Butler in the Buff. There's a ladies' night going on in this hotel."
Big thing. Needs you out of retirement.
I know. Really here, it was fucking 180 birds. Like, bear in mind, most of these gigs were like 30, 40 at most. 180, and then he says, "You need to bring a mate who's well able for the job." So I brought my mate who's a bit of a tank as well, and but he can't handle his drink. See my block and all doing that because you're drinking the whole time. Yeah. He can handle it. You have to be able to still like flirt and crack jokes and all, like where he just turns into a washing machine. But yeah. He looks great. Can't call for shit. Like, so
lifting the fucking apron. Yeah.
So my dad asked fucking your man, could he do glass clacking at it? So my dad was at the gig. watching the whole thing. Like, no, he's wetting himself. No, he's
Well, your dad's are in your
my dad was fucking getting second-hand fucking spins. He's loving it. And they ended up, they had, like, it was some girl's 40th, and they were like, we need one of these. Who's the dancer? And I was like, I can dance. Like, and they were like, right, we need you to go on stage, do Magic Mike. Like, so I was like, sound, in front of 180 birds. I was like, let's do it. So I
that's confidence right there.
Well, sure, you have to back yourself. Like, if you're like, lads, you know yourself. If you're not backing yourself, who is? Like,
exactly.
So
I don't know.
So I walked on the stage anyway, and the girl's sitting on her chair. It's just really like, it's really awkward and all. And as I'm walking on, she's like, fuck off, don't be touching me. And I was like, all right, come on. Like, and I start doing my, butler above thing, like Magic Mike. And I was like, no, don't be worrying. Like, it's fine. I'm not going to touch her or nothing. Like, she was like, fuck off, don't touch me. And I was like, I looked at the DJ, I was like, oh, pull the fucking plug here. Like, get me out of here. Really awkward. Like, we just had to like kind of reverse. It was like way up in the hills of Donegal.
Did you not touch it? You just
sure couldn't it? Like, sure, mate.
You had to heed the warning.
Maybe not touch you.
See them kind of jobs. Would you ever have like a begruntled axe or
Begruntled?
What's it? Begrudging.
Whatever the fucking word. Disgruntled. That's the one. Disgruntled. I've been punched for a living. But do you ever get any beef with the husbands or the boyfriends or anything?
Nah, not at all. But sure, you think about it. Like,
I'd be open your door the next day.
Melbourne's fucking massive population. So, like, what are they going to do? Look for an Irish guy? I mean, there's
there's
millions of
one
them.
all
Like,
the
they'll be
time,
doing
yeah.
well. Like, do you know what I mean?
So, before you were doing that, then you said you were a wee bit of a partier.
Aye, so I would have been like, see, in all honesty, like that's kind of where my content has went now. Is that whenever I was in my teens, like I ran about with a load of boyos sort of thing. We were
I heard
talking
he's
about.
running about with Tyrone's favourite cousin,
Aye.
Al Capone.
Did you?
I'm friendly with him. He was talking to me last week, and but that wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have knocked about with him when I was a teenager. When I did, actually, I'll be honest with you, is like
if you're not going to be with him, you're definitely a maniac.
I used to be topped out now. Like, well, whenever I was growing up, like I fucking suffered a wee bit with mental health and all, and tried to take my own life and all.
Is he?
Yeah. So that's what I talk about now. I'm 17, so it was getting bullied and all, and just wasn't
bullying like in school
by
or
my mates, but everybody around me was just absolutely torturing me. Like,
what were they torturing you?
Used to get called fucking ugly bastard every day.
And you're butler in the buff now.
Thanks. That was where that's what a lot of what I teach my sort of videos and like my clients and stuff is that like no matter what somebody says to you, you can always turn it around.
Yeah.
But it's about your own belief in it. Like so at that
If you're
time,
ugly now, join my program 6 weeks. You're gonna be handsome.
come on in, President Hanson, man.
Me, so you try to take your life at 17?
I did, yeah. So what happened was from there, I basically I came back from a holiday where I tried to take it on holiday, and when I came back, I was talking to
It's
the
not a
man.
great holiday.
It's terrible. I got tortured. I broke my hand on my first day of the holiday, and I was in the hospital and had to get surgery. And the lads all fucking like covered my clothes in shower gel and all, and fucking. Aye. So it was just lads just being like immature. No, they just fucking had no clue. I had no whole no grudge now like about it. Like don't begruntle them anyway. Fuck's sake. And so what I went through a journey in was like. How do you go from like so I started building the exterior, which was going to the gym, starting to believe in myself, getting like regular haircuts, doing things that make you feel good. And then it was actually when I started working on the internal, which was like later on in years, then did a bit of therapy and stuff, and it was work and built that as strong as I did on the outside. So then now it's like I'm in a position where I can actually teach people how to change your life. You literally do both sides. People think of fitness as just like a before and after picture. That's why I constantly say it on my videos anyway. I don't really give a fuck about your before and after picture. I care more about life-changing events for you. So it's like the belief inside. See if you tell me all of a sudden, like you've been miserable for the last 2 years, now all of a sudden you've got a girlfriend, you got promoted in work, you're having more sex with your missus, all that type of stuff. That's the kind of things I see as better wins because you actually are you're actually happier, which is the main thing. Like
I think boxing show people don't realize how good like training every day and eating clean and all that shit actually helps.
Yeah, it makes you feel
your mind. Because seeing comp, like I'd be fucking the happiest ever when I'm dieting, like fucking training, like fucking off a drink for 10 weeks. I feel fucking great. So it is, I think, massively. If you are suffering from mental health, going in the gym is probably the best thing for you.
Well, getting into some sort of activity. I mean, let's get serious. We're not supposed to sit in our arses at a desk all day. We were like, if you go back a couple of 100 years, we were out hunting for food. So we're supposed to be on our feet all day doing exercise. Now people don't even move. and they're like too lazy to just tap on their phone and get food sent
You,
out the
you,
door.
get, you get
It's
you
getting
get
it's
caught
getting easier.
in the fucking doom scrolling you do nowadays.
Aye.
It's so easy to just sit there looking at the same fucking TikTok videos.
No.
I do it myself, but
We all do. I actually got a wee app, and I tell my clients to get this as well, and it's called Opal, and what it does is it locks you out of your apps that you know are
I
just...
paid 40 quid for an app blocker and I don't use it. It's just-
Sure. You tap yourself out of it. You're like, that's the one.
Why give you an app where you can actually unlock it yourself?
I
Like,
know, it's,
give me something that you can't do. You can't.
Don't get me wrong, though. I'll still try and push it anyway. Like, whether I use it myself. Do as I say, not as I do, right?
So see, after you had that like trauma, there's trauma, getting bullied and all, and fucking trying to kill yourself.
Yeah.
What? Had you been to the gym before, or had you never like? Did you do any sports or anything?
I
growing up?
won a couple of Ulster medals for Gaelic. Like, I would have been
Did
a
you?
decent Gaelic player. Like, I played football and stuff as well. Never did boxing. Only did boxing in my later years. Like,
Yeah.
but for me, it was like, I started just, like, my ma, basically, I never really got saying what happened. So whenever I came back from that holiday, I was talking to my ma. I was standing there, and I'll be honest with you, lads, I was standing crying my lumps out because it was like, I don't know why none of my mates like me and know what's going on. And she was like, Emmet, trust me, see when you go to attack, you go somewhere else, you're going to meet other people, and they're going to open
Yeah.
your eyes to that's not the only way.
That's the worst thing for a parent to hear as well. Their kids saying it. It
Oh,
breaks
aye.
my heart when kids say that.
Yeah, of course. Like, I mean, I don't mind talking about it now. I also don't walk about like I'm some victim. Like this is, you know, this is like, oh, like, look, I had this poor me thing. But what I try and do is just, for years, I never talked about it. Whereas now it's like, talk about it and show people that it's like,
Yeah.
let somebody know. Because if I reach one person and show them that there's actually, there's more potential in you than you think, then it's a win for me. See the amount of people that have reached out to me and said, like, I was literally about to, and like, and one of your videos stopped me. Like, seeing you talking about that made me go, fuck, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
It's worth it.
yeah, because it always is. There's always an answer. Like, it's coming up to my mate's anniversary here this, like, next week, and she took her own life 2 years ago. Like, my catchphrase that I use at the end, can I get a yo? Everybody always, I get loads of people slag me about that, right? It was her phrase.
Wow.
And I, whenever she took her life, then at the funeral, I asked her ma, like, I was like, do you mind if I use that? And she was like, our male gets to live through you.
Yeah.
And I was like, aye. So then I started getting, so now whenever I'm out in the town, people all shout, yeah, all the time. And it's always, it just
That's
reminds
good,
me of
reminds
her.
you of her,
And
100%.
her ma follows me on Instagram and TikTok and all. She's always writing underneath, just being like, it's just like watching my mail. Do you know what I mean?
But you were saying about your ma, you were
Yeah,
talking
so
to your ma.
you spoke to their mommy, yeah.
Yeah. She just basically, like, she was just like, you don't understand the potential you really have. So she was like, you have so much in you, but you're just not seeing it because you're surrounded by people that are telling you you're nothing. You're fuck all. So then she was like, once you get into a new group, you see that there's actually other people out there that'll encourage you. So what happened was I went to tech, and the first day I came into tech, I bumped into a lad that I knew when I was about 8, and he was like, oh, what's crack, mate? Do you want to go out to drink and all, blah, blah, blah. And here's me specked out as fuck, like, and he was all like Spice Boy, like a wee bit more like pretty boy looking.
Yeah.
And he, like, whenever we
Space
went,
boy, I haven't heard that word
I
in
know,
ages.
fuck's sake, show me his hair. And whenever we went out, then he complimented me, and I was like, "What? What are you fucking slagging me?" And he's like, "Nah, mate." He was like, "I was just saying you look well." And that was how reactionary I was.
because you
So-
hadn't had a compliment.
I'd never heard it. So then, after we started going to the gym together, we were doing a sports and fitness development course, and then it was like started to learn a wee bit about it, and then I went on and got my qualifications to then be a PT. But as I said, obviously, if you have that sort of deep rooted disbelief in yourself, it's going to take a long time to build that up.
Yeah.
So even when I got qualified, I never believed in myself to actually do it. So then I worked every other job under the sun, all the names of the day, like whether I was a truck driver in a building site, butler and above, all that shit, call centres, between
what call center did you work in?
HCL.
Yeah, it's BT.
I worked in Concentrics as well, but HCL was like West Belfast in the box for fuck's sake. It was good
It's
crack.
fucking nuts, same jobs.
I loved it, like.
It's
Fuck's sake.
some madness happens in
Aye,
that.
it wasn't bad, like being from the other side of town and coming into this thing and all the West birds and all that. Who's this fella? Started to get my confidence in.
Go ahead. Well,
Aye, so that was kind of where, for years, it was like stepping stones. So it was like, I went from like this really negative place to then started building the exterior, as I was saying, and it was only then years later that then I was like, my back's against the wall here, and I was like, all right, well, what are you going to do now? You're back in your man's house now. You're going to have to do something. So that was where I built that gym, and I was like, if you start PTing and nobody sees you, then like if it doesn't work out, you can't, like nobody will know anyway.
Yeah.
That was kind of my thought process with it. What ended up happening was I started building a bit of belief in myself while building other people's. I started seeing results, and I was like, why do you not believe in yourself? Like, you're obviously able to do this.
Yeah.
This isn't that hard. And then it was like that started to grow. And then it was just like watering a plant. It was just like continuously keep watering it, just kept growing. So then it was like, all right, okay, well, no, you're actually fucking really good at this. So you should continue and actually show that you can show other people. And now, as I say, I'm doing it
That's worked out.
Yeah, it's worked out
So is
massively.
that why you went to Australia originally in, just to get away from the naysayers?
We were just partying non-stop. It was like, you know, go out on a Friday, come home on a Sunday, like, and you're no sleeping. Like, I'm sure you're boxers, you maybe never did that, like, but like for me, your cousin would have been the same, that kind of way of going, and it was just constantly the same thing, whacking gear, knocking about with people that were all just talking shit all the time, just negative. So I just went to Australia because one of my mates was over there, so I was like, I'll give it a go. Sure, it's going to be better than what I currently know. That's why I always say to people now, I'm like, if you're in your circle now and you're not feeling 100% fulfilled, or you're feeling like your cup's maybe getting emptied, it's not filling you up, then it's emptying it. Do you know what I mean? So you have to think, okay, well, maybe this circle isn't for me anymore. Maybe there's a reason why I'm not actually, because I think everybody has the potential to do whatever the fuck they want. Like, there's never been more opportunity than there is now to succeed in life.
Definitely.
I think with drink stops a lot of people doing. Like, are you still drinking?
Yeah, I still drink. Like, but I mean, for me now, like, I would drink, but not anywhere.
as much
Yeah,
as
I don't take gear or nothing anymore. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've broke my duct once in the last year, and I regretted it. I was like, do you know what? Why'd you do that for? Do you know, whereas now I just went back off, and I was like,
probably down the, like you're saying again, the circle, who you're with.
that's it.
So I think the circle, going out with seeing people every week, week in, week out, you're not going to get anywhere in life. It's always going to hold you back.
Unless it's people who are on the same journey trying to succeed, with people who are just living for the weekend.
Yeah,
it's no good. Like,
exactly. I like see the last 2 years in my journey where it's been like where I moved to online. Like, even meeting the likes of yourselves and stuff, meeting, like, going to Tom Smith's thing the other day, all that there, meeting people that are actually on a journey themselves, that are on a growth journey. I started to just constantly cut people out that I felt were not, if they're not serving you, then they're taken away from you. Do you know what I mean? So for the way you have to look at it is everybody has an energy, so it's either a good energy or bad energy. Do you ever walk into a room and go, there's a fucking weird feeling in here? That's because there's negative people in the room. So if you're around positive people that are bigging you up, they're telling you can do whatever the fuck you want. What are you going to do? You don't believe that?
Like, even, you know, in the gym, if you have a good coach who believes in you and fuck, hey, you're brilliant, you start performing better.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the times, there's guys who are unbelievable in the gym, and then when they go to the national team, they're with new coaches and their style of coaching is different, and then they don't box as well because they're just, the energy's off with the coach and them. Even like school as well, if you have a teacher who's saying anything, you're getting A's in our class all the time, and if a teacher that you hate, you get a D. So energy is a big thing. Like.
Absolutely. My dad's a teacher, like, so he actually taught me in school. St. Pat's, knock. You wouldn't know. How do you know it?
You're thinking of Lisbon, are you?
Oh, is that a different one?
As knock, it's over in East Belfast.
Oh, right.
Like it's like a
really
smart.
Really smart.
You definitely wouldn't know it. Don't begrudge me. Fuck's sake. Aye, so yeah, exactly. Like, I always said to him, I was always like, you had it fucking easy one day. Like, you just come into the school and fucking, he sticks on the radio and all. Kids are all getting A's. He taught me PE, like, but he teaches RE as well.
RE, I'm terrible at RE.
He's great. They just fucking say, oh, sure. Like, you just give a wee thought process, and they're like, oh, that's good. I was shit in school, like.
RE bored me so fuck, so that was my worst subject.
Was it?
You love it too?
I loved RE,
Whenever I went to Australia, my dad had a house party for me, and there was like 200 odd people came, like, it was fucking mental. I was getting crowd surfed out the back of the house and all, and he got
like, fuck these cunts. You're in my self-esteem. I'm getting away from these.
Look at me now. and he got my school record printed out, like, so I had like the worst record of school I'd ever seen. So he got it printed out, but it couldn't even fit on an A3 page. And he was like, Daddy's proud little boy, or Daddy's proud of you or something, right? And it was just like fucking rows and rows of fucking suspensions and nothing. And like, people were all like, what the fuck? And I was like, I was a nightmare in school. Like,
why? What were you doing in school?
Sure, just if you everything, like, was fighting, fucking going, smoking, fucking beaking off every class. I actually had a belter, right? So I hated my English lit teacher. Like, she just, do you know what you were talking about energy? We just didn't click. We just weren't. Like, English lit wasn't my thing.
I never done English lit.
I fucking hated it. Like, and I used to always like bake off her class. And whenever I I was getting monitored by like the vice principal and everybody at this point because they were like, you need to make sure where he's going at all times.
Man.
Yeah. So I came to her class and I ducked under my desk, right? And she was calling out the roll, and she was like, Emmet, and she was like, oh, he must not be here. And I was sitting under the desk, and I kept firing things up at her, and it was a 2-hour period, right? And I was a wee wanker. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I know my self-esteem wasn't great, but it was also a wee dick. And what happened was, I managed to bake off, but while in the class. So next class, then the vice principal comes down. She comes down. I know it was butler. She came down, pulled me out of class. She was like, Emmet, out now. And I came out, and she was like, where were you the last 2 periods? And I was like, I was in the class, miss. And she was like, no, you weren't. And I was like, I think I found I was. And she was like, no, you weren't. And I was like, all right. And she went and got like one of the geeks in the class, brought her out. And she asked her, she was like, where was Emmet? And she was like, to be fair, miss, he was in the class. And she brought me back out. She was like, I don't know what you've done, but I will get to the bottom of this. I was like, I honestly think that maybe you should get a new teacher. Maybe it's her problem and not mine. I was like, clearly she's not able to control her class. She doesn't even know who's there. I was like, you're putting her in charge of a class.
Mello? Must be McKenna.
McKenna.
These two must be related.
He was like, Harry, I think you're related to this guy coming into this.
He asked me that beforehand.
Because they're fucking called McKenna.
But he's mad as well, dear man.
That's really fuck's sake.
I'm fucking different mad now. You're mad now.
See, going from personal training, like one-on-one to online, is a completely different setup, or?
Yeah, like I've staff and all now. Like mine is it's a business now. It's not a like.
So you never do one-on-ones with anyone ever again?
No, I don't do.
You just be from your bed, do 10 sets.
Well, what I have is my own app on the App Store. So whenever you like, if you come on as a client of mine, then I get you to download EPT, which is my app, and
What's
then
that stand for?
Emmet PT, like so.
Right.
But I'm actually clearly, is he the bloke in that business as well? Fuck's sake, Dermot Dubber over here.
Go ahead with your story.
For fuck's sake. And
Oh, there's going to be some more deep fuck's sake. But it's
fuck's sake,
talking
lads.
about journeys here and energy, and it's just Emmet PT. Fuck's sake. What's that?
It was really original, like, and I'm actually rebranding it at the minute.
Sure you are.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to make it more obvious, like, for the people in the back. So whenever they come on board, basically I get them to go on the app, and then I'll like get them to fill out a questionnaire of like where they've been, what they've been doing so far, what's worked, what's not worked, and where they want to get to. And then I'll like basically lay out a plan of like a structure of like their training. And then I'll do check-ins. So they have like a daily check-in, which is for them, which is like, it's called creating winning habits. I just get them to do day-to-day things that you should be doing every day. Like get up, make your bed, open your curtains, like drink 2 liters of water, get steps done, and you just tick off them boxes. So the way I said is if you do them every day, when it comes to your check-in, you'll nail your check-in, no sweat, because you'll be doing the daily things easy.
Yeah.
So whenever your weekly check-in comes, then that's where I delve into a bit more. I'll actually go into a lot more behavioural stuff. Like it's less about, it's a small bit about their nutrition and their training, but in actual fact, it's more lifestyle. It's more like, how do I get the best out of you? So I'll give people activities to do, like, even simple things like, I wanted to do an activity this week that's completely different. So I wanted to go up a mountain this weekend, do a walk, and send me a picture at the top.
Term's favourite.
Sure, don't take a few steps to talk.
But what was I going to say? Say someone like, say a guy, say James, says here, I've been doing all the check-ins all week. He's saying he's doing all the check-ins, and then he does the weigh-in check, and at the end of the week, and he's fucking putting all sorts. Has that ever happened?
Yeah, all the time. So so what I do then is I'd be like, send me your food, send me your MyFitnessPal.
Like fuck. See if he wasn't there on top of me, I'd be eating. I'm having a salad and eating fucking KFC at the same time.
See, it's easy for me because it's all data related. So everything's on. It's all about data. So the more data I have, like whether it's their pictures, their measurements, their weight, all that stuff there, I can see their lifts in the gym and everything. So I can just go in and poke at them and be like, you're going in doing 3 sets of 10 on the same weight every week. Like you're not getting any better there. Like so you're not actually trying. You're just going in and just taking a wee box that you went to the gym.
Sure, he's looking like, because I had a nutritionist, Stephen Floyd.
Yeah,
shout out him. And for boxing, he used to get me my weight down every week. I had to do, or every couple of days I'd do a check and weight. And I used to lie to him every day about my weight. I'd be like, say I have to be 70 kilo. I'm 69.8. I'm fucking doing brilliant. And he's like, brilliant, but really it was 73 kilo. I would just give myself a wee gap to fucking close it down every week. I'd go a bit heavier than what I am, so then I'd finally caught up each other. But you know, everything.
Well,
online you can cheat a lot more.
Well,
You
people
actually
are
can't.
serious
It's
about it.
harder. It's harder to cheat online. See, it's easier in person because they can just show up every week and they're like, I know they're coming to their session. So there's not as much monitoring.
Yeah.
Whereas online, it's actually it's far more. Like I can be really on you if I want. I can be like, right, I want you to send me your screenshots of my fitness pal every single day, and then I'd be like, weigh yourself every morning, send it to me. The more data I see, the more annoying it is because then you're like, he's fucking watching.
Yeah.
Whereas if I leave, what happens is initially when you come on board, I'm like, I give you a wide berth. I'm like, you'll have a teething issues for the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So we'll see how you go. And as I start to see it, then I might just put the foot down and be like, right, you're actually fucking about here. I know, I can see what you're doing.
So all day, are you just on top of people, like on the phone all day?
Yes and no. Like, cause I'm running a business, like I have staff and all now. Like I have like an operations manager and stuff come in, and you know, there's people working with me now. It's not always me handling everything now because I'm having to do other things. Like so, like the marketing.
Butler on the bus.
Fuck's sake, mate! I know the queues out the door. Yeah. So basically, the way I work it is, I say to them, look, I can be on you or as little, or like as much or as little as you want. Just depends on how much they need. So I find women want a lot more day to day to chatty, like tell me what's going on. Where lads are a bit more like they'll just take the instructions, they'll go do it, and then like you'll come back. Like see me, I get coached myself, I get mentored on my business, then coached on my physique. Best thing I ever did for my business was getting coached on my physique. I was always like able to get in really good nick. I had all the ability in the world to do that myself, but it was actually learning what are the touch points, what are the things that is somebody doing that's better than me. Because I always promote that. I'm like, if you want to get to somewhere, if you see somebody else, you see fucking Muhammad Ali, you want to get as good as him, what are you going to do? You're going to fucking try. How do you get working with his coach? How do you get work? How do you emulate what he's doing? You have to go and hire people that know what he's doing.
Who coaches you in, or do you not want to say?
Tony McAlevey.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's massive. Tony the Wolf, he's called on social media.
I think a lot of people as well, when they start these online courses and stuff, there's this false perception that they're going to be, like, they'll get a six pack and they'll get big, but once they get that'll be them forever. Like, see, having a six pack, you need to be that.
Yeah, it has to be a lifestyle. Yeah.
I fought 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I remember.
My six pack was gone within a day.
Sure, I met the day before, and I could see the difference in you now to then, like facial structure and all that. But see, I actually was thinking about it when I was away over here. Like I did a couple of photo shoots there.
Fat there. That's all you have to say. Your big fat face you've got on there.
All right. Skinny fat. So I did a couple of photo shoots earlier in the summer, and the prep is very similar. You're like, you know, you're water loading and fucking like fat loading, like carb loading, all that shit there, and then you're really dieting hard. And at the day of shoot, you're like absolutely you're fucked.
You can't even walk upstairs or nothing. You're fucking being out of breath.
Exactly. You're absolutely mangled. Like so, it'd be very similar in the way where you're running yourself into the ground, and people see the end result. So they see that. For me, it's like to see that picture, and they're like, I want that, and I'm like, that's the after picture that people want, right? But I'm like, there's actually the bit that's after that's more important, which is the maintenance after, which is, so for me, I'm 2 months on. I'm like only 2 kilo up from where I was on the shoots, but I'm eating 1,000 calories more a day. So that means I manage that correctly, where it's like gradual growth. Yeah. So you're actually able to carry around a six pack and not be miserable. Balance. Yeah.
Like, so I go from one extreme where I'm starving myself to make weight, and then the next week I'm eating about 6,000 calories a day. Yeah. Just stuffing my face with anything. That's where I'm at now. But see, once I get a word in and get in the fight, and then I start doing like 5 days a week of dieting and training, and then maybe have a wee weekend off. I love that kind of lifestyle. That's the kind of lifestyle I think it's healthy for you.
Well, I kind of promote that anyway. Like, as much as like, you know, I don't party the way I used to. Obviously, I still drink and stuff. Like, I mean, if like people on my social media would definitely know because I'd be posting and all, and I'm out. Like, so it's not that I'm not. So I always try and tell people that I'm like, no two bad decisions in a row. So say if you're going out in the swell, you're not going out for food as well, and you're definitely not getting Chinese and all that shit the next day.
You're ruining the fun. You're ruining the fun.
If you're a fucking gimp. But what I always say is like, I'm like, so if you're going to go out for a meal, do the social thing, do it. But like, just get right back to it the next day. Don't be see this here, like, I'm going, it was like a birthday and I went out for dinner and then we got blocked and then we had shite the whole next day. I'm like, see all your work that you did Monday to Friday, Monday to Saturday, all gone because you just consumed 7,000 calories in the space of 24-hour period.
Was it worth it? Yes.
Fucking was. I'm not fucking leaving.
Do you do them shows, the fitness shows?
So I had a chat with my coach about it. I would have been show ready for my shoots. So like I said to him, like I wanted to bring a different look to my shoots that I, like, and they did. The shoots really stood out. Like they did them in Ibiza with Peter Bennett, and they I would have been so ready. So I was like what they call dick skin lean. Like there was literally not a pick, not a pick. That's like a term we would use in our world. Like and it's like. To get that level is so difficult. You're so fucking hungry. Like I was lying in bed starving every night, like rolling around, going "fuck me."
Sounds like boxing.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's very similar. Prep for it, like
can't sleep for.
Yeah, you're just you're waking up starving. You're going to bed starving. You're like, "Fuck's sake, I can't eat till 2 in the afternoon here." This is fucking brutal. But for me, we chatted about me doing shows, and he was like, "You're so ready. Like we could book you in for a show here, like 3 weeks if you want." And I just says to him, "I was like, do you think it's going to benefit my business? Because it's about relatability for me. So if you have my audience, when people follow me." Like they're relating to my mental health story, they're relating to, you know, me going out and stuff like that there. Are they going to relate to me walking on stage and put a fucking trunks? Probably not.
Nah.
So it's like it would only
damage your
so that's what he explained. He was like, it'll probably damage the brand if you start doing that, which is great. You'll end up attracting people like that. But at the same time, do you want to coach them?
People,
yeah, and for me personally, that's not where my bread and butter client is.
Is there any time you've ever had to like fuck someone off because they aren't doing what you're saying?
Yeah, so
that'd be me. I'd be getting fucked off. Get out the fuck down.
Well, I operate on a 3 strikes and you're out thing. Now, I don't promote it that hard on them, but if there's, I'll kind of, it's a wee bit higher.
Depends what
threshold. Depends on what it is. Yeah. Like, there was somebody recently I had the axe because, you know, they came on board and I give them a different payment structure than, like, you can either pay up front for a load of months, so you can do, you know, like a weekly, a monthly or whatever. And they were missing payments, and they'd be like, "Oh, having a couple of days." And I just said, "I was like, look, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to let you go because my business can't be chasing you for payments. Like that's not because you're not adhering." Same thing as like in the check-ins, like I'll pull people, I'll give them a wide berth 2 weeks, 3 weeks at the start, where I'm like, I know it's teething issues. You're giving a fuckload of information, a load of stuff to implement, and it's going to be a wee bit hard. So your first 1 or 2 check-ins, I'm going to expect a wee bit of like missing your measurements, stuff like that there. But then I'll say to them, I'll like be like, "You're fucking about here because if you aren't doing the simple things, which is like." In the tick box of your questionnaire for your check-in,
make your bed, put your lanes.
Not
only make a bed.
Well, it says if you're lazy, if you're lazy in one, you're lazy in all.
Yeah.
So if you're somebody that's generally always late to work, you're going to be late for your check-in. You're going to be late for. You're probably going to be not counting your calories correctly. You're probably going to be eating sneaky Chineses and all the rest of it. So it kind of spills in. All behaviours spill into each other. So if you're fucking about in one, you're fucking about in all.
See if you do see if you're training. I've trained twice a day, every day, and still not done the dieting. And my body shape won't change unless I start dieting. I think dieting's the most important thing. Yeah, absolutely. Like if you want to change your body composition, like I hear all these people, like so many people reach out to me and they're like, "Oh, I've been training 7 days a week," and I'm like, "Why are you doing that for?" I'm like, "You don't need to train 7 days a week, but like." You're never gonna out train a bad diet. Exactly. So if you continuously diet yourself all the time, if you continuously train yourself into the ground, but you're still eating shite all the time, well, sure. I've tried and tested it. It doesn't work. It does not.
How many days a week would you train?
I only train 5, like 4 or 5.
Only 5. It's fucking. There's only 7 days a week.
But that's
what do you want?
I only train every day.
Well, it's my job to fucking do it.
Of course, yeah.
It's my job as well. I haven't trained in about fucking 3 weeks here.
I'll tell you when I get the finger. You're getting fucked off a program before you even on.
You're out. Please, Greg. Fuck's sake.
So I'd say in the beginning, before you started your own business, were you training 5 days a week?
I always did. I always.
Yeah.
So I actually had this mentality like years ago. Whenever I would have worked in all different jobs, like whenever I worked 9 to 5s and stuff, like I'm even thinking back when I was like 21, I would have always counted my day as 9 to 7. And like my dad was like, "Oh, like what? Like I'll get you at this time." And I was like, "No, I'm not free then. I'm still in work." And he's like, "No, you're not. You finish at 5." But I was like, "No, but I have the gym." So I count that as my day. I always was like the gym. Like
I couldn't think of nothing worse than a 9 to 5 and then going to the gym.
But I just always, for me, it was because you have to have a strong enough why. So for me, my why was like, do I want to feel how I felt when I was a teenager? Absolutely not. So I knew that once I started to see a better results from it, once I started to feel better, look better, started to attract girls, started to actually feel more confident, then I was like, well, this is fucking worth it. I would rather look like this and feel like this than what I did before. So my why was strong enough, whereas it's how strong your why is. Like, do you want it enough? I always say to people when they come on the phone, I'm like, where is your pain point? Like, what is the thing that you really want? So say if you're standing in the mirror right now, do you look at yourself and go, I like what I see? Generally they go, no. And I'm like, how bad is it? Like, so I'm going to take us on a holiday. we're going to walk down the beach here, you're going to be in a bikini, do you feel confident? You might do, but and I'll say, do you feel confident? And they're like, absolutely not, no, I wouldn't do it. And I'm like, okay, so see that, absolutely not. I'm like, write that down in your notes. And that really write that, envisage that and say, why do you not want to do that? And you're like, I don't like how I look, I don't like how I feel. And I'm like, so see, when you come on the program, then you're starting working with me and you start fucking about, I want you to go and read them notes and remind yourself what you're doing it for. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You just need a realignment of your mentality. So like most people don't do that. They just kind of, they try for a wee bit and then they take a foot off the gas and try for a wee bit and they're like, nothing's working. And they're like, I'm sick. This is just the way I am. Yeah. It's not the way you are. It's just, you're not.
It's the way you're choosing to be.
You have to be consistent.
Absolutely. Well, you know yourselves. Like, I mean, you two wouldn't have been boxing at the level you are without having been consistent and disciplined. Like, there has to be.
Don't like it. I hate training. I fucking hate it. But
do you?
But I have to be here twice a day. So.
But
you know what?
Boxing training is different because I've always hated training, but the last while. Sorry, Tom. Just want to jump in to back you up. Training, like just training casually. I might say enjoying it, like lifting weights. But go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, our relationship with training is completely different than most people's relationship. Like ours is fucking work with the dad every day. We're ballocks. We're getting punched in the face. It's hard training. Like it's fucking hectic. It's not enjoyable. It's not a social thing. So like when we went to the gym a couple of weeks ago together, I enjoyed it because it was just us doing a bit of weights and having. I felt like
there's no pressure on it. Yeah. I like see, if you're annoyed, like. And you go and lift weights. I never thought that you could get this from lifting weights, but you're melted and you go and lift weights. You feel good after. I was like, fuck, this is a good stress reliever. I know why people are going to the gym. Yeah. Before I was going, why would you go to the gym if you're not a competitive athlete?
Yeah, we related the hard training. Like, we hate going to the gym. And we always see people going to the gym or going on runs and all. And like, why the fuck are they doing that? But
well, have you seen the training? Like, I upload videos of mine, like the level of training that I be doing. Now, what you're talking about there, where you're like, it's work for me. Like, because like how I look is part of my
your brand.
Yeah. At the end of the day, if I have to show I want to walk, like, you know, you're not going to hire a barber. Can
you be a fat PT, Nick?
Yeah.
You can be.
I don't think you should be.
Personally, for me, I don't believe that. I feel like you should be a walking advertisement for what you do. You wouldn't go to a barber if you got a shade haircut, would you? So you're not going to fucking go to a PT who's not walking the walk and doing what it is they do.
I had this nutritionist who was a mess. She was a mess. Like, I mean, and she used to tell me, I used to tell her my dad, and she was like, right, what chocolate bar do you eat? And I say Mars. Change it to Turkish Delight. She didn't give me like
brutal choices.
You're seeing the choices she was giving me of things. I was like, this just doesn't make sense, but I was doing it. But she was the shit. And then I was looking at her. She was, while we're having meetings, she's stuffing her
my class get Turkish Delight.
She's stuffing her face with all this shit.
What is a good sweet, a healthy option, not a healthier option for a treat?
Treats? One of the main ones actually is there's 9-calorie jellies you get out of Tesco's, right?
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Game changers, like, because
I think it.
See when you're dating, like, you're like, because you have a sweet. You ever see when you eat, you're like, you're spicy chicken and rice, you're like, you need something sweet after. Yeah. See, 9-calorie jellies, get them fucking down her neck.
I just be drinking them things.
Yeah, unreal. Like, I literally was buying bucket loads of them. Like, but in all honesty, one of the main ones that I always tell clients of mine is I'm like, see if you take a wee bit of Greek yogurt, right, and you put loads of berries in it, right, and put maple syrup over it. It is like a dessert and it's really filling. And I'm like, you do actually enjoy what it is you're eating. But in all honesty, I never tell people, like I tell my clients, I'm like, you see if you want a chocolate bar, have one. Yeah. But you have to fit it into your calories. Yeah. So like, sometimes I'll get some of them message me on Instagram, they'll see me upload some sleazy fucking meal I'm having and they're like, how come you get to have that? I'm like, because I already did the fucking work. Yeah. I'm like, you're coming to me because you didn't do the work. Yeah. You already had the dessert. You're coming in.
Hey, see once you're in a calorie deficit, you start finding wee cheats. We're not cheats, but you start finding stuff that are unbelievable with their low calories and you start having loads of like ice lollies. Yeah. You eat like fuck ice lollies because they're only 30, 40 calories.
Absolutely. One of the real good dad tricks that I use is obviously whenever you're dropping down low and you're in like your 1700s and 1600s zone of calories and you're fucking starving like and you're going and hammering yourself in the gym and you're like doing the cardio and all, like see for photo shoot, like training your bollocks off and then you're going doing 12, 15,000 steps and then doing cardio, you're like absolutely fucked. So you're like running on fumes at that point. Yeah. What I actually always do to try and make myself feel a bit more full is one, obviously add vegetables in because there's fuck all calories in that. But two is, see if I'm having a meal, I'll directly have like a can of Pepsi Max or a can of Diet Coke straight after because as soon as you've had that, you knock that whole can, You feel full of the brim. You feel really bloated, and then you're like,
it's good scam.
yeah, you're scamming yourself, like, because you're kind of like, I couldn't even eat if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Did you ever see if you whack a full tin of something in there, like you can't fucking really eat straight after?
But anyway, thank you for coming talking enough shit today. He was about to say something
I was
else.
going to ask I just wanted, before we wrapped up, I just wanted to know if you had any mad stories with Jonesy.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Listen, my man dad watched this. So the Jonesy stories stay out. Listen, Emmet, where can everyone find you online?
Emmet McKenna, _PT on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Yep, and that's for the Buff Butler service as well. Still
Yeah, me directly on them.
But listen, thank you for coming
thanks,
on.
man.
Okay,
lads.
thank you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, share, tell everyone about it. Get on Patreon, etc., etc. Legends.
With him going all the way.